Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Hope you got an early start to the weekend. If you have, congratulations. That's always a nice thing to experience. If not, sorry, maybe next time. But thank you for checking out this video. I really do appreciate it. If you are new here, thank you for giving the channel a chance. If you could take a moment to tap or click like, subscribe, maybe comment down below, I really do appreciate it. It helps out so much. Shout out to the 19 as well. Folks, the WNBA season ended the other day. Yes, I know there are supposedly some teams playing some games somewhere with some players, but as we all know, the WNBA season ended the other day. And yet, despite the one player they can't stand being in the league, not being in the league for the rest of the season, they can't stop talking about her. It is an addiction. They have gone absolutely bat crap crazy the last couple of days, and it just keeps ratcheting up. Caitlin Clark, WNBA, please listen to me. Caitlin Clark doesn't care. She's not thinking about you, okay? She's just not that into you. She has left the building. She is now on a new adventure, becoming a professional golfer, which, by the way, the LPGA, thrilled about it. Golf Digest tweeted something out. When Caitlin Clark's little play-by-play of the Phillies game went viral, the Phillies longtime play-by-play announcer tweeted out a video and said, hey, come in the booth. She was already out the Yankees. Every company and every sports league wants Caitlin Clark associated with them, except the one she's actually in, the WNBA, which explains a lot about why they have lost millions of dollars every year for 3 decades. Oh man, it is fascinating. And we've got a league of players who, as you know, constantly boast about their physicality. They boast about the physicality of the WNBA. Of course, all normal people know that it's just a distraction from their complete lack of basketball skill. And so they're hoping that you watching them beat the snot out of each other will be entertaining enough, which, of course, it hasn't been for 3 decades. So, look, I want to give Alyssa Thomas credit for sort of kickstarting the crazy we've seen the last couple of days. Let me back up 1 second, because I just wanted to add to the end of that physicality stuff. These players who boast about that physicality, they've turned out to be the softest human beings ever to exist. That's, which is what we're going to dig into with what Alyssa Thomas says here, who kind of kickstarted all this crazy of the past few days that's coming from the very toxic WNBA itself, the very toxic WNBA players, very unlikable people, and of course, they're very toxic fans. So let's dig into this a little bit, see what Alyssa Thomas has to say. This is after game 2 against the Indiana Fever, and of course, shockingly, the reporter sets her up to have this little crazy rant that she goes on here that we're going to talk about.
From each tip-off to the final whistle, the Sun have been locked in, professional, and taking care of business. What does it say to the professionality of this team that you've been able to shut out the noise?
Honestly, it's been a lot of nonsense. I think in my 11-year career, I've never experienced the racial comments from the Indiana Fever fan base. We had her face on a serious matter that happened in this world, and it's unacceptable, honestly. And there's no place for it, and we've been professional throughout the whole entire thing, but
well, folks, Alyssa Thomas' feelings have been hurt, and it's unacceptable. It is unacceptable. She has put her foot down. Gee, shockingly, she called out the Fever fans. Now, how about we talk about the Chicago Sky fans? Because, Alyssa Thomas, if I remember correctly, and I do, you committed a very flagrant foul against Angel Reese and really should have gotten suspended for it. And her fans They accused you of, being overly physical with your wifey. Remember that? I don't recall you speaking out about the Chicago Sky fans. Anybody watching this, listening right now, do you recall that? Let me know in the comments below. We have Alyssa Thomas, the dirtiest player in the league, is upset because people spoke words. She's not upset about being accused of being overly physical with her wife because that came from Chicago Sky fans, which goes to the point that all of this is misdirection. This is all about hatred of Caitlin Clark. That is all this is about. And we're going to get in. By the way, professional, that is gaslighting on an epic level. There's been nothing professional about the WNBA that we've seen since Caitlin Clark was drafted. The players, I mean, come on. If you've been watching these videos for a while, we showed examples and talked about it all season long about how important it is for them to get some media training because they are god awful in press conferences. They say the dumbest things. They have terrible attitudes. You get people like Weatherspoon who just get up and walk out because they don't like a question. I mean, there's nothing professional about the WNBA. And that's been allowed because they've never actually had to make money because they've got the sugar daddy, the NBA. And I know how much that has to pain them because they exist because of the charity of men. And more specifically, men who don't tan very well, because we know that the fan base of the WNBA, it's very diverse. Don't get me wrong, but we know what the biggest section of it is, don't we? So anyway, let's dig in a little more to this Alyssa Thomas crazy.
I've never been called the things that I've been called on social media, and there's no place for it. And basketball is headed in a great direction, but no, we don't want fans that are going to degrade us and call us racial names. I mean, we already see what's happening in the world and what we have to deal with in that aspect. And we come to play basketball for our job and it's fun, but we don't want to go to work every day and have social media blown up over things like that. It's
so much there. First of all, grow up and be an adult. If you don't understand what social media is like, for better and very much for worse, okay? So before any of you get all crazy, I am not excusing trolls, but I am saying that is an excuse for her to attack people, Caitlin Clark, that she does not like, because trolls have existed since the internet started. Trolls will always exist. Alyssa Thomas saying it's unacceptable and putting her foot down will never change what trolls do. Before I even finish this, just as a reminder, I want to scroll down and show you what we're talking about here, right? Dijon the Mustard, Dejanay Carrington, started a Twitter spat. Okay, look, the Indiana Fever have the nastiest fans in the W. Ew. People, Dr. Philip Oliver Holes. Do I have to say it for you? Dr. Philip Oliver Holes. Oh my God. Mustard, how freaking dumb are you? This is what they're complaining about, people. By the way, you can't see it all, but this is the image that Alyssa Thomas was referring to. This is what they're referring to with Dejanay. And by the way, yeah, the image is terrible. By the way, that is the police officer. The part you can't see under there is George Floyd, and that face is Dejanay. And that in and of itself is awful. But again, look at who is posting it. This is not a Fever fan. I mean, oh my gosh, this is one of those dumb phone call names where you call a place and you say, can I speak to Dr. Philip Oliver Holt? And then the person screams out to the fans, Dr. Philip Oliver Holes, Dr. Philip Oliver Holes, you got a phone call. Oh my Lord. Alyssa, I'm trying to stay calm about this, but it's like y'all are just so dumb. You're just so dumb. I mean, it is fascinating. Oh my Lordy. man, shut up with that lame. Yeah, exactly. Right there. But up, it went without me. Where were we? I think we were just about finished. So we're gonna go from here and let this finish.
Be blown up over things like that. It's uncalled for, and something needs to be done. Whether it's them checking their fans or this league checking, there's no time for it anymore.
Are you listening to this? We have freaking. First of all, did you catch the part where she says about going to play and then social media? Your job is not social media. You do not have to be on social media. We are talking about social media trolls like Dr. Philip Oliver Holes. Oh my gosh. And Alyssa Thomas is saying it's unacceptable and she's demanding that the Fever or the league do something about it. This is a tyrannical nut job who thinks you cannot have an opinion that hurts her feelings. That is absolutely crazy. Nobody forces these athletes to go on social media. Nobody forces them to be on Instagram or Twitter or wherever else it goes. You want a safe space? Stay off social media. Go to Threads. I hear that's nice. I do not understand what reality you're living in and what the expectation is. I mean, I've seen people on there actually saying they feel unsafe. I'm sorry if you feel unsafe because of trolls on Twitter. That is a you issue. That is a you issue. That is a mental issue with you. And I mean this sincerely and respectfully. You should seek professional help. And by the way, these slurs that they're talking about, they say they're not happening at games. I think I saw Britt over in Phoenix say that. If they were getting shouted out to players at games, it would be on audio or video, and it would be the only thing that the media would be talking about. I mean, my goodness, we've got Kennedy Carter lying about the whole bus incident in Washington. Like I said with Alyssa Thomas, she didn't speak out in the Chicago Sky fans. We've got the Chicago Sky fans making their force. Marina Mabry requested a trade and got out of there because of the way Angel Reese fans treated her. We've got Dana Evans and Isabel Harrison crying because of the way their own fans were treating them. Caitlin Clark has a bodyguard. Come on, Alyssa Thomas, you're not special. You can't make layups. You didn't have fans before. That's why you've never experienced anything like the rest of the professional sports leagues and athletes feel. And by the way, again, to be clear, if you're talking about off social media and you're talking about players, there are actually things like getting doxxed with their address or people following them home and physically in person harassing them. 100% should not be happening. There should be, and there are, right? I mean, if they're caught, there absolutely would be consequences for that, as there should be. No player, nobody, okay? Let me say, obviously, it happens more to athletes because they are celebrities or actors because they are celebrities, but no one should have that. No one should have that. And it does unfortunately happen, and it should not be happening. But again, if you're listening to what Alyssa Thomas is saying and her example with Dejanay, they're talking about trolls on social media. Oh, this is the Kendrick Victims League now. And again, I will go back to this. I mean, that is the most obvious example I can give you, that Dr. Phillip. But yeah, I mean, we're talking about tweets from random trolls like Dr. Philip Oliver Holtz. Hey, I mean, for all we know, Dr. Philip is a Sun fan who just wants to cause problems because they know that the entire league is going to direct all their vitriol toward Fever fans, toward Caitlin Clark fans. So now you can have Sun fans, Sky fans, Aces fans, Asia Wilson fans, Angel Reese fans, Alyssa Thomas fans, Dejanay Carrington fans. They can all troll as if they are Fever fans, and then get the reaction that they want. You're giving, oh man. See, here's the dirty little secret is I don't think they really want this fixed. It's like an addiction for them. They want to keep talking about it. They want to keep it alive. Because look, Caitlin Clark's not playing anymore, and we're getting more of it. It's like they need it. Their entire existence as a league is based on this. It's based on them being victims and battling against hatred and ists and isms and phobes, lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. Without it, the WNBA disappears. I mean, look, to my point, what I said kind of tongue in cheek at the beginning about the season being over. Oh, there might be some games coming. Who's talking about the games? No one. Are they talking about what Nafisa Collier's done in the playoffs? No. Epic, epic. But they're not talking about that because that's the point. If they weren't talking about this stuff, no one would be talking about the WNBA anymore because Caitlin Clark is not playing. They despise Caitlin Clark. Everything about her. Everything about her. They hate how good she is and how that's exposed the low level of play that the WNBA has had their entire existence. They don't like her popularity. They don't like, I mean, and they found a way to attack her through her fans. And again, this is what I'm going to end with here because this sums it up perfectly. You've got the player saying that the Fever fans are nasty, and there it is, folks. Dr. Philip Oliver Holtz. Yep. Some crazy, crazy stuff. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for checking out this video. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will talk to you later.